Your social security number journey starts now. Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today we're diving deep into a topic that's super important, especially if you're new to the United States or maybe just haven't gotten around to this yet, applying for a social security number. Getting your SSN can seem like navigating a labyrinth of paperwork and processes, but don't worry, we're here to be your guide. We'll break down each step in a way that's easy to understand, so you can approach this whole thing with confidence. If you find this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Your support means the world to us and helps us keep making these videos. Also, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. All right, let's get started. Let's find out. First things first, we need to make sure you're eligible to apply for a social security number. Now, if you're a US citizen born and raised, you're most likely eligible. But there are some nuances here, so stick with me. Non-citizens, this part is especially for you. Your eligibility for an SSN depends on your immigration status and whether you're authorized to work in the United States. You'll need to provide documentation that proves you're allowed to work here, like a work visa. The Social Security Administration, or SSA for short, wants to see that you genuinely need an SSN. It's not just a random number, it's key to things like working, paying taxes, and accessing certain government benefits. So, your reason for applying matters. For our non-citizen viewers, you'll need to gather specific documents, and we'll get into the nitty-gritty of that in just a bit. But think along the lines of your passport, visa, and any immigration paperwork. Having everything organized will make this whole process so much smoother. Remember, this is just an overview of eligibility. The SSA's website has a wealth of information, and I highly recommend checking it out if you have any specific questions about your situation. We'll put a link to their site in the description box below. The important thing is to be informed and prepared. Don't just assume you're eligible or ineligible without doing a bit of research. A little effort on the front end can save you a lot of headaches down the line. Now, let's move on to the documents you'll need to gather to support your application. This is where things can get a little bit more involved, so we'll break it down step by step to make sure you're totally prepared. On to the next chapter, which is all about the documents you'll need to wrangle. It's document time. Paperwork, power hour, gathering your documents. Okay folks, time to gather those all-important documents. Trust me, having everything prepped and ready will make this process so much less stressful. First up, you'll need proof of identity. This is where your driver's license, state-issued ID, or passport comes in handy. Make sure it's current, not expired. The SSA is pretty strict about that. Next, you'll need to prove your age. A birth certificate is the gold standard here. It's the official document that verifies, when and where you were born. Now, for my fellow non-citizens, this is where those immigration documents I mentioned earlier come into play. You'll need to prove your immigration status and authorization to work in the US. We're talking about your green card, work visa, employment authorization document, EAD, basically anything official that verifies your status. And remember, the SSA is big on originals or certified copies, so no photocopies or scans here. Double check that the names and information on all your documents match perfectly. Any discrepancies, even a minor misspelling, can cause delays. And believe me, you don't want to deal with that headache. Once you've got all your documents in order, take a moment to make copies of everything and keep them in a safe place. You never know when you might need them again. It might seem like a lot of paperwork, and well, it kind of is. But remember, this is about proving your identity and eligibility, which are pretty important things. Now that we've conquered the document mountain, let's move on to the actual application form itself. Get ready to channel your inner form-filling ninja. Conquering Form SS5, your Social Security application. All right, time to tackle the heart of the matter. Form SS5, also known as the application for a Social Security card. Don't worry, it's not as intimidating as it sounds, especially with our handy-dandy guide. First off, you can snag a copy of this form in a couple of ways. You can download it straight from the SSA's website. We'll put the link in the description, or you can swing by your local Social Security office and pick one up in person. Now for the actual filling out part. Channel your inner neat freak, because this form demands legible handwriting, or even better, precise typing. Use black or blue ink to keep things official and easy to read. The form will ask for some basic information about you, your full name, exactly as it appears on your birth certificate or passport, your date and place of birth, and your citizenship status. You'll also need to provide your parents' full names and social security numbers if you have them. This information helps the SSA verify your identity and prevent fraud. Take your time, read each question carefully, and answer everything honestly and accurately. This is not the time for creative writing or embellishing your life story. Once you're done, give the entire form a thorough once-over, double and triple checking for any errors. A tiny mistake can lead to delays, and nobody wants that. Remember, accuracy is key here. This form is your ticket to getting a social security number, so treat it with the respect it deserves. Now that you've got your application filled out and double-checked, it's time to send it off to the Social Security Administration. We'll cover the different submission methods in the next chapter, so stay tuned. Chapter 4. Sending it off. Submitting your SSN application. You've gathered your documents, conquered the application form, and now it's time to send everything off to the Social Security Administration. You have two main options here, in person or by mail. If you're all about that face-to-face interaction, you can hand-deliver your application to your local Social Security office. This way, you can get any questions you have answered on the spot and make sure everything's in order. If you prefer the convenience of mail, no problem. Simply gather all your documents, originals or certified copies, remember, and your completed application form, and pop them in a sturdy envelope. The SSA website has a handy-dandy tool to help you find the right address to send your application to. It's based on your zip code, so you know it'll get to the right place. Now, if you're applying for an original Social Security number, you'll generally need to apply in person, especially if you're a non-citizen. This allows the SSA to interview you and verify your documents. No matter which method you choose, make sure to keep copies of everything you send. You never know when you might need a backup. Submitting your application is a big step, so give yourself a pat on the back. You're on your way to getting that Social Security number. Now comes the hard part, waiting. Don't worry, we'll talk about processing times and what to expect while you wait in the next chapter. Stay tuned. Chapter 5. The waiting game, what to expect after you apply. Okay, you've sent in your application and now it's time to, well, play the waiting game. I know, waiting is the worst, but patience is a virtue, especially when it comes to the Social Security Administration. Typically, it takes the SSA around 2 to 3 weeks to process your application and mail out your Social Security card. But keep in mind that this is just an estimate. Sometimes it can take a bit longer, depending on factors like the volume of applications they're dealing with. While you wait, you can track the status of your application online. The SSA has a handy tool on their website that lets you check in and see where things stand. If it's been a while and you haven't received your card or heard back from the SSA, don't panic. You can always call them directly or visit your local Social Security office to inquire about the status of your application. Remember, the SSA is dealing with a lot of applications, and sometimes things fall through the cracks. It's always a good idea to follow up if you haven't heard anything within a reasonable time frame. The important thing is to stay proactive and informed. Don't just sit around twiddling your thumbs. Use the resources available to you to track your application and address any issues that might arise. Once you receive your Social Security card, congrats! You've officially joined the ranks of those with this all-important piece of identification, but the journey's not over yet. In the next chapter, we'll talk about the importance of keeping your Social Security card safe and secure. Stay tuned. Chapter 6. Your SSN. Guard it like precious treasure. Congratulations. You've made it to the final chapter, which means you've hopefully received your Social Security card. Now, this isn't just any piece of plastic. It's basically your key to a lot of things in the US, so we need to talk about keeping it safe. The golden rule is this: memorize your Social Security number and keep the card itself in a secure location. You don't want to be carrying it around in your wallet or purse unless absolutely necessary. Think about it. If you lose your wallet and your social security card is in there, that's a recipe for identity theft disaster. And trust me, identity theft is not something you want to mess with. It can take years to untangle the mess. Instead, store your card in a fireproof safe, a locked drawer, or any other place where it'll be protected from theft, damage, or those accidental trips through the washing machine. If you do need to carry your card with you for a specific reason, make sure to keep it separate from your other important documents and valuables. And remember, if you ever lose your card or suspect that your social security number has been compromised, report it to the SSA immediately. They have procedures in place to help you get a replacement card and protect your identity. Treating your social security card with care is crucial for protecting yourself from fraud and ensuring that your personal information stays, well, personal. And there you have it. You're now equipped with the knowledge and steps to successfully apply for a social security number and keep it safe. And there you have it, folks. You are now well versed in the art of applying for a social security number. Remember, the process might seem a tad overwhelming at first, but with a little preparation and a dash of patience, you'll be well on your way to obtaining this essential piece of identification. We hope this video has been helpful in demystifying the SSN application process. If you found it useful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel for more informative content. Until next time, stay informed, stay prepared, and best of luck with your social security number journey.